Hey everybody, welcome to not the Riely Live Movie Review Podcast. I almost did the wrong thing. Welcome to Issue Crew Movie Reviews, the show where we review movies and it's the Issue Crew. Everybody loves it. It's a great show. Here I am, your host, the mentally ill loner who society treats like trash, Riley, joined by my co-host Kathy.
Did you know that despite making up
No, no, no.
what's wrong?
Hush. Leave it alone.
All
All right, Kathy, what are we reviewing today?
Joker.
Joker, rated R.
Yes.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good, but I have my gripes with it, but I thought it was good overall.
It was an interesting I'm sorry?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, I think your mic made a weird noise or something and it sounded like you were trying to stop me. Um the it was an interesting day in the life, not day in the life, but you know what I mean, literally the same thing I said about Gospel Hill, where for most of this movie it was just it wasn't necessarily entertainment in the way that if I'm watching a comedy movie or an action movie, it was just I was inserting myself into this life and it was an engaging experience.
I thought it was I thought it explored a lot of interesting topics.
I don't the thing about it though, this doesn't necessarily ruin the movie. I'm still gonna rate it pretty highly. It was still very good. But hallucinations plots kind of piss me off a little bit. Because if I'm following events in a movie and then I'm like, what the fuck? None of that was real. That kind of sours my take on it. American Psycho, when you fucking opened the door for me that the entire thing might be fake and all a hallucination. That kind of soured American Psycho for me a little bit once I started thinking about it from that perspective. And the same kind of applies with Joker, where he had this girlfriend the whole time, and then suddenly we find out she was a hallucination for the entire film.
Was her kid a hallucination?
No, well, she herself was not a hallucination. The first time he met her was real, and the last time he met her was real. But the time in between where they were dating was fake. He met the woman in the elevator with her kid. They kind of had a semi-friendly interaction, except it kind of got weird at the end. And then he hallucinated about her being his girlfriend, and then he showed up at her apartment, and she was like, "What the fuck? What are you doing here? Oh God, please don't hurt me."
I actually didn't know that. I guess I just didn't catch on.
Yeah, no, I mean, maybe I'm talking out of my ass, but that's what I got from it, is that the first and last times he met her were just him meeting the real woman, but the rest of it was hallucination.
Also, I just want to say this entire movie is literally this guy, Arthur Dent. I thought his last name was, but I
Yeah, you
forgot.
thought his name was Dent? It's Fleck.
Where the majority of this movie is just Arthur Fleck getting fucking beat on by everything.
You see, it is a lot of it is he starts as a pretty he's fucked up in the head and weird, but he's a nice guy. Like he's he's good natured, I think, overall. But
Finished last, Riley.
yeah, I know. Ha 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 ha. But it's just society is so fucked. Really in this movie, it's just he just gets beat down by the entire fucking population of Gotham City consistently. He's just being a nice guy and they're being shitty to him for absolutely no purpose. The scene on the bus where he was I don't quite remember what he was doing with the kid. It was not weird what he did with Bruce Wayne. I understand why that received a violent reaction because he fucking put his fingers in his mouth. But there was a kid on a bus that he was just playing peekaboo with or some shit. I don't quite remember what it was. And then the mother turns to him and is like, "Can you fucking leave my kid alone? Jesus Christ." He's not even being like intrusive or anything. He's just making funny faces at your kid, and your kid is smiling and enjoying it, and you're just like, "Fuck you, piece of shit!" Like Jesus Christ, why is Gotham City so mean?
I mean, have you ever lived in like a major city, really?
I mean, no, not really. My city's big enough, but it's also rural enough that it's
Uh,
definitely nowhere even close to Gotham
what's
City, I'll tell
what's
you.
the population of your city like?
I do not know.
Would you say it's like over 100,000?
Probably not. And there's
Yeah,
also like barely any multi-story buildings, so
yeah. That's what people are like in cities.
why?
I don't fucking know.
Just don't do that. Like why would you do that, man? Just be
Like
cool.
talking to a stranger like in a city, like if you that's how you get shot.
Why can't people just be cool in life? That's you know what? I think Arthur had a point actually. I think he was right. I don't think he did anything wrong.
Like when he shot those three guys on the bus.
Honestly, they fucking deserved it. Like, let's be real. That specific group of people definitely deserved to be fucking shot. Like, they were just, they had no redeemable qualities whatsoever. They just were dickheads and attacking people for no reason, but to get, like, wacky kicks and just enjoy themselves. Like, yeah, I
And
think we can do without those dudes.
I'm gonna be yeah. That's also how people like this movie accurately portrays city people.
But just to be clear, I'm not advocating for murder. I'm just saying I get it. Like the murder happened in the movie and I understand why it happened and I'm
It,
not necessarily against the
would
fact that it happened. I think they deserved it a little bit kind of.
would you be a part of the clown protesters?
I don't think so. I think that got like a little bit too violent for me. Cuz there's a difference between I'm saying like the three guys on the subway like Arthur was directly attacked by them. Like he witnessed and was party to their abuse. So I think it was kind of reasonable for him to kill them. But you know, on a larger scale, just like fucking taking over the entire city and like causing car crashes and killing people for fun, it's just like, yeah, maybe not. But the
I also
initial action was not as vile as things to come might be.
I also wanted to say, jumping ahead like a lot. Um, Bruce Wayne's parents die in this movie.
Holy shit, I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I was not expecting that either. That was a really big surprise.
It was
I
just
was
one of the clown protesters too.
I wasn't even expecting Bruce Wayne to be in this movie.
I mean, I was expecting something. Like there was gonna be a Batman reference in some way. And I kind of like what they did with it. I know I have a friend who's like a huge nerd for specific runs of the DC comics, and it upsets him that Joker is older than Batman. Because I guess in the Batman runs that he likes, that's not the case.
I mean, I guess like the best Joker comic is probably The Killing Joke. Have you ever read that?
Some people hate the Killing Joke
The creator of The Killing Joke hates The Killing Joke, but I think it's pretty good.
because the
The,
conceit of Killing Joke is that the Joker killed Bruce Wayne's parents, right?
what?
I thought
No.
that's what the Killing Joke was.
Am I getting? Hold on. No, it's the Alan
You
Moore.
might be you might be getting comic runs mixed up because I'm pretty sure the Killing Joke is when Joker kills Bruce Wayne's parents.
No, that's when. No, it's not. The Killing Joke is when the Joker, shoots a Batwoman.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm 100% sure. Are you talking? The movie of The Killing Joke sucks. The comic of The Killing Joke is really good.
I haven't watched the movie or read the comic, but I feel like I've heard from several people that the Killing Joke is a story where Joker is the one who killed Bruce Wayne's
Oh, I can assure you
parents.
it's not.
Killing Joke, Batman. No, not the band Killing Joke, although I guess that is a pretty good name for a band. Batman: The Killing Joke is in 1988. Da, 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 da. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. I just want to know what happens. Story becomes famous for its origin of Joker as a tragic character, a family man and failed comedian who suffered one bad day that Okay, well, I guess that's kind of similar to what this movie was. More stated here. Shooting and paralysis of Barbara Gordon. Okay, you are right about that.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what I'm thinking of then.
Yeah, I don't either, but the Killing Joke, it also goes into the Joker's kind of origin. It's a lot different from this one because it's kind of like a Joker dementia story, which
Okay,
it's hard to explain if you haven't read it, but I would highly recommend reading it. It's really good.
okay, I might give it a look. I need to get into Batman in some way. I'm sure there is a Batman out there for
No,
me.
you know what you need to get into?
Oh my god. Are we about to have an unrelated conversation just because I said I want to get into Batman? You're gonna tell me to get into something else random? Is that what's gonna happen?
I'm going to tell you to get into the Invincible comics because the Invincible Season 2 trailer just came out.
I could do that. Or I could watch Invincible Season 2 when it comes out
You're going to
and be surprised about what happens.
I'm going to make you watch it with me, and it has been confirmed that the second
Kathy, you don't have to make me watch Invincible Season 2. I watched Invincible Season 1 and loved it. I'm going to watch Season 2.
good because in season 2 the second coolest villain is introduced.
Is it? You see, I have a lot of spoilers for the plot of the comic
Okay,
because after I watched Invincible, I watched like these like history of blank character
oh
videos that spoiled a
fucking
bunch of
god.
plot.
You
Yeah, so
spoil the plot. Oh my god.
listen,
You,
man, I can enjoy things when I've had the plot spoiled.
you
Death
just did.
Note, I called Death Note my favorite piece of art recently, and I knew how that ended before I went in.
Well,
So I can deal with spoilers.
hold on, Riley.
Yes.
It's not as good if you know what happens.
Maybe it's not as good, but I'm pretty good at consuming media within its own conceit.
Okay,
Like I
Riley.
can know what happens and I'll still be impacted by it because I'm engrossing myself within the media.
Riley.
Yes.
Did the Dinosaurus arc get spoiled for you?
Yes, the Dinosaurus arc did get spoiled for me.
Fucking damn it.
I'm having a
Anyway,
hard time remembering the details though.
Anton LaVey is going to be introduced in Invincible season 2.
Isn't it Anton Levy?
I don't know how to pronounce it.
That's fair. That's fair. Uh I wonder if that one girl is going to be in this season. That might be later.
What do you mean by that one girl?
That one girl who does some uncouth things to our boy Mark.
That got spoiled for you, the worst fucking character?
Yeah,
She is the
I basically know everything that happens. Like I know I feel like we probably should have already said spoilers for Invincible, guys. I'm sorry. Uh, further spoilers for Invincible ahead. If you don't want it to get worse, fast forward. I'll put spoilers for Invincible in the description.
Okay, wait, hold on, Riley. Was the robot arc spoiled for you?
It all was. Yes, I know what happens with Robot,
Ugh.
which is pretty wacky to me after how he was depicted in season 1 of Invincible specifically. I was not expecting him to go that crazy.
I I mean, for the record, Robot Robot's arc in Invincible the comic comes much later than it does in Invincible the show.
Yeah, I've heard about that. I heard about that part.
And it's a bit jarring how far apart they are. But you know.
I'm also excited to hear that because I want to see some fucking big fights, and I'm excited to hear about some of the stuff that happens with the Viltrumites later, and also that Omni Man becomes good, so we can see some good Omni Man fights. So I'm excited for what's to come in the Invincible show. Uh, the new animation style is pretty interesting. It's gonna take some getting used to, but I don't dislike it. It looks very clean and very good.
I think the coolest fights are definitely like the coolest fights always involve uh Levy.
Does Levi even have superpowers?
Le- oh my god, I'm not going to spoil it for you.
I'm trying to remember what Levi does. I know he's like Invincible's greatest rival, I think. I remember him being a pretty common name, but I don't remember what his like abilities were.
Okay, his abilities were to open portals to other dimensions.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's true.
Anyway, we should get back to Joker
Remember when
probably.
Invincible met Spider-Man? That was pretty good. I read that comic.
I actually haven't read that one.
He called one of the Avengers Black Man.
What?
Because the bit was Invincible meets Spider-Man, finds out his name is Spider-Man, and he's with the Avengers at the time, and he's looking at all the Avengers, and he's like, "Your name's just Spider-Man? That's silly. So is this like, is this is Robot Man? This is," and he just like goes to the Avengers, and there's an Avenger that's black, and he just says, "Black Man."
Invincible gets racist?
Invincible gets racist, yeah.
Did you know
Or
that
maybe
is
it was Black Woman and he was referring to Black Widow. But there was
okay?
definitely like he called something Black Man or Black Woman, and it was awkward and it was silly.
Okay, anyway. So the Joker. I really kind of like how they portray the Joker's insanity in this thing with his mom being like a horrible piece of shit.
Well, I think she was less a horrible piece of shit and more mentally deranged in a similar fashion to him.
Can be mentally deranged and not be a horrible piece of shit. She like tied her son to a radiator.
Was it? Did she do that, or was she just too insane to stop her boyfriend from doing that?
I thought she did that.
I thought the implication was she was just so crazy and out of her mind that she didn't realize that her boyfriend was abusing him.
No, I think the boyfriend just hit him. I think she tied him to a radiator.
Maybe. I didn't quite pick up on that. I thought that the boyfriend did the brunt of the abusing, so I was kind of like shocked when he smothered her.
Maybe he did. I'm not sure.
That that kind of caught me off guard, that particular scene.
Hmm. Interesting.
But he's crazy. He's killing people. It happens.
All right. Yeah. But I also like when the two guys come to his house.
Oh yeah, the workers. Oh my God, that scene was like so unsettling in a great way. I was actually super into that scene. Where he kills the big guy, but the little guy was nice to him, so he's not gonna kill the little guy. And like the little guy is fucking terrified, thinks he's gonna die, and Arthur's just like, "Don't worry about it, man. Just go. Don't look at it. Just go. Just it's okay. Get out of here." And then,
He even opens the door for him.
yeah, the little guy. He like I think he thinks it's over. Like he realizes that he can't unlock the door and he's like, "Okay, this is a cruel joke. He's going to kill me right now." And he's like and then he has to turn around and be like, "Hey Arthur, can you unlock the door?" And he's like, "Of course, buddy." And then he just lets him out.
Yeah.
That was really good.
I also really like, I like the kind of themes of this movie, I guess.
In what
About
regard? Elaborate.
mental illness and always being ignored by people, everybody thinking you're always happy, but it's just a face.
Yeah, I relate to that pretty hard. I do kind of operate like that. Like I think my life's policy forever has been honestly, I feel like I relate to Joker a lot. Not because I want to kill people, it's not quite that far, but like I do have very immense depression that I hide behind a fucking goofy smiley face because like comedy is the only thing I value in life kind of a little bit.
I am.
Um
I'm gonna admit everything's been turning out good for me lately.
well that's really good to hear.
Yeah, I just went on a date yesterday. I went to church today.
Oh God, you went to church.
Oh, what are you triggered?
Is this gonna be? Is gonna be the Kathy finds God arc?
Yes, it is.
Well, I wish you luck in your religious journey. And I'll see you back on the atheist side when you make that loop around again.
To
I'm
be
not
honest,
a I'm
to
not a
be
dedicated atheist. I'm agnostic. Like I feel like there has to be a higher power. I think that all religion is bullshit.
I'm
Like
gonna be
every Go ahead.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't believe in God. I just kind of like going.
No, that's fair. I could definitely see that the appeal of church beyond the surface level content that they are providing you. But yeah,
I watched
man.
a baby get baptized today.
Oh wow, that must have been that actually sounds great.
It was a very cute baby.
Oh.
He started crying when they poured the water on him. But
Well,
after
he's a baby, of course.
but after that he stopped crying, and then when everybody, started praying, he just looked very confused.
Oh, he was like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, cute baby.
Good baby. High quality babies at Kathy's local church.
Yeah. By the way, a bit of a side tangent, but do you know what my profile picture is?
No.
It's the achievement for beating BioShock on hard.
Oh, hey. Good job.
Yeah,
Unless you just got that on google.com.
I did not. It's on my
Okay.
Steam profile.
Nice. Man, I should beat video games at some point.
I also really like Joker's kind of side plot about becoming a comedian.
I mean, yeah, I don't think it really goes anywhere beyond like its payoff during the Murray show, maybe.
Also,
But
and also, I like how during the comedian bit, he's like he starts talking about rich people and then it just suddenly cuts out. Like you can't hear what he's saying.
he at that point he recedes into his own delusion because like he's super awkward. He's doing the big laugh because he has his laughing condition. He's trying to tell this story about how he hated school, and he just can't do it, and that's what they made fun of him for on Murray. But then right after that, he kind of goes into this thing about rich people, and then it just cuts us off from hearing it. But then like the whole audience is like laughing and loudly and cheering for him. So like that's when he receded into his own delusion
Hold on,
and
I just
was
realized what
hallucinating.
that was.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't him retreating into his own delusion. That's them showing the clip on the Murray show, and they cut out the thing about rich people because they didn't want them to hear it.
No, we see the clip before it's on the Murray show. Like we see it live.
Whoa, hold on. No, they were playing the clip on the Murray show, and that's what the POV was when we were watching it.
No.
No, when we were watching it and it cuts out, that's supposed to be like what the Murray show did.
There are scenes like in between when he actually does it and when he does it on the Murray show.
No, I'm talking about when we originally see it.
No, no,
It's
no, that's
supposed
what I mean. That's what I mean. When they play it on the Murray show, it's a completely separate scene. We're not seeing it from that perspective
no.
at
When we
all.
originally, before he plays it on the Murray show, it's supposed to be us watching the Murray show, watching him when we originally see it.
That's not true.
Because they cut out the thing about rich people and it shows all of the you hear all of these people laughing, and that's because the people on the Murray show are laughing at him.
I think you're wrong. I think you're entirely off base. I think it's they show us the scene where he's on stage. That's completely separate. We're not watching the Murray show. We're watching the film Joker 2019 rated R. And he is on the stage doing his comedy and beefing it, and then he retreats into his own delusions like he does with the girlfriend, just like completely hallucinating this positive reality that doesn't exist. And he starts telling his jokes about rich people, and everybody loves it and loves him because he's fucking crazy and he's deluded himself into thinking that's true.
Yeah. So all right. So I feel like this movie is a lot about, people not being able to get help, I guess, because they're too poor to get help. They're just ignored by society.
Yeah, the society abandoned him. They treated him like trash. and now they're gonna get what they fucking deserve.
We live in a society.
I don't. He never says that sentence.
Society.
He does say the word society though. Pretty sure he only says it once. I remember that being the meme. Is like he only said society once in the whole movie.
Society.
Society. It's easier to get a quote of Homer Simpson saying we live in a society.
Did he actually say that?
It was part of a greater sentence, but yes. The actual sentence was Bart, I think, like went to jail and he was like scolding him and he said, "We live in a society of laws." So you could just cut out of context him saying we live in a society.
Nice. But I thought Joker 2019. I feel like
Rated R. You got to say the whole name. Joker 2019 rated R.
I feel like the movie doesn't show us enough of how bad Gotham is, and that might seem weird, but I feel like it should show just like people starving out in the street more often.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I could see that enhancing the greater theming.
But what do you have to say about this movie?
I don't know, man. I have trouble having things to say about movies. I've recently had a character arc where I'm like, maybe I shouldn't review things, but I'm gonna keep doing it anyway. But I just feel like I'm very bad at having nuanced takes about things unless I'm really into them. Like, I'll talk to you for fucking 7 hours about the nuances of an episode of Power Rangers, but then I watch a movie like Joker 2019 and I'm like, yeah, that was a good movie. I have
Right.
like 5 minutes worth of things to say about that movie that I just watched.
All right, you know what? Fine. I'll do the talking for you.
Okay. You're me
Despite
now?
making up 13% of the pop.
No, no, no 13% are stated about here on this podcast.
Why not, Riley?
Don't worry about it. So
Explain.
just be cool. Just be
Explain
cool.
why.
You know
But
what? You know
I
what,
feel like
Kathy?
what?
You're fired. Join us next week for the Issue Crew movie reviews starring Riely and Random Candor.
That's never gonna have an episode recorded.
I could if I bothered him enough. I just don't want to do that.
But the thing about Joker 2019, sorry. But Arthur, do you think Arthur could have turned out to be an okay person if he had gotten enough help?
I think so. Like I said, I think he was pretty good natured at the beginning of the movie. It was just that,
I mean, was he?
yeah, he was just a nice guy. Like his life was fucked up and he was a little bit weird and like fucked up, but I think in general he genuinely just wanted to make people laugh and like be a positive force. He just didn't have the mental wherewithal to do it cuz he's fucking insane and depressed, but his heart was in the right place, I think.
I don't know.
So
I
I
feel
think
like
if he got more help, then I think yeah, he could have been a good person.
I feel like he could have had a good life if, like for example, like the therapist just being funding slashed.
Yeah, that was a tough break for old Artie there. Yeah.
And then, Wayne going on the TV saying, I want to help these people. I want to help them lift themselves up. And it's just like, fuck you.
How about a hug, Dad? A little fucking human decency. That scene was also really good.
Yeah.
That's one of the scenes that stuck with me is him yelling at Thomas Wayne in the bathroom, fully convinced that he's his dad.
Yeah, that's
And then he gets
yeah.
punched in the face.
Um Oh yeah, you also remember the detectives?
I do remember the detectives. What were they? They weren't really anything.
Do you think The detectives were real.
No, I'm not saying they weren't real. I'm saying they were nothing. Like they don't contribute much to this movie. Like if
Uh,
you deleted them, I don't think it would affect much.
I think it would.
I think they just provide
They
tension
come.
that
They
never really
come
gets a
at the,
payoff.
they come at like the worst points in his life. When his mother goes to the hospital, when when he's well, I guess when he's depressed and he's just trying to get away from everything, they come to hunt him down.
Yeah, I guess you're right. So they do have that purpose. It's just like the characters themselves didn't really feel like anything. Like I got impressions from characters like Arthur's mom and Murray and the girlfriend who was fake the whole time. The detectives really did not leave an imprint on me. Like I don't remember their names. I barely remember what they look like. They just did
There
not make
was
much of an
there was one that
impression.
was fat and one that was skinny, and they
That's
also
fair.
also they definitely contributed to the clown protesters.
Don't they get killed by clown protesters or like put in critical condition?
They got put. One of them shot one of the clown protesters and killed them, and they got beat up by the clown protesters after they did that.
Yeah, fair enough.
What do you think of Joker? The media making Joker to be like a right wing symbol.
You mean like in real life?
Yeah, you know how the
Okay.
media
I was like, wait a minute, I don't remember that in the movie, but no, that was a thing that happened in real society. Um,
society.
it's it's a little whack. Like I think it was really overblown. The Joker controversy when the movie first came out. Like I remember reading things about them having like police officers on the grounds of movie theaters just in case something went awry with a Joker showing.
What did people think were going to happen?
People thought that lonely incels were gonna come watch the Joker because it's their movie, it's about them, and then they were gonna kill people in the movie theater.
Why would if they just want to watch the movie? Why would they kill people?
That's a great question, Kathy, that I don't think they're prepared to answer. They were just like, oh, incels, can't have the incels, gotta have police so that there's no incels.
Incels are kind of based.
Heard something about some movie theaters like instituting a you can't watch Joker alone policy. Like you have to go with someone. You can't be a fucking loner.
Wow, we truly do live in a society.
It was just really funny, all that controversy that came up when the film came out. When this is not. Is this an incel movie? I don't think that was a very pervasive
So
theme.
this is a literally me movie.
Yeah, it is a literally me movie, that's true. Kathy, do you watch Kino Corner on YouTube?
I do not know what that is.
Okay, well, they're very similarly pretentious to you and use similar rhetoric, so I thought maybe you were just stealing it from them. But they're pretty compatible with your film views, I think.
Who is Dave, Riley?
The Kino Corner, the man,
Are you talking about them, Riley?
them. I
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think I'm talking about them right now.
Hmm. What do you think I mean when I say them?
You could mean anything. The Jews,
No, no, no.
trans people, like you could mean any group of any marginalized group, really. You could be referring to Kathy, good old edgy Kathy, my good favorite co-host. She just loves to make jokes about marginalized groups and
I'm talking about white people.
she flipped it on me, you see?
Did you know that despite making up 80% of the population, that 90% of pedophiles are white?
I feel like that can't be true.
It's something similar to that. I
I
read a
I could
study.
see white being the majority just because obviously white is the majority of people statistically.
Whites
But
are like
90-10 sounds like a pretty unreasonable split to me personally.
I read a study about this once, and it's true that white people make up the majority of pedophiles.
If you told me it was like 25-75 or higher, I would believe you. But 90-10 is too much, I think.
Yeah, those aren't the exact numbers, but I did read a study about it, and white people do make up the majority of pedophiles.
And the majority of those white people are priests.
The Lord shall strike you down.
Listen, man, it ain't my fault the fucking pastors are running around touching kids'
And
balls, okay? They need to fucking repent for their sins. They need to say 100 Hail Marys for all the fucking children balls they fondled.
I didn't know you were a priest.
If a pedophile
You're
goes
not
into
going to respond to that one?
nope, just gonna let that one lie. If a pedophile goes to confession and they confess their sins, does the father just say like, "Yo, me too, bro," and then they like fist bump through the confession window, and no repenting occurs?
I don't know.
That's probably what happens, I think. But what else is there to discuss regarding this film?
Do you want to talk about you want to talk about how the clown kind of becomes like let's talk about the ending.
Okay.
So, in the ending of this film, you see, the clowns are like running rampant through Gotham and burning down the city.
Yep.
And eventually one of them finds the Joker and releases him from his thing.
That's true. That was an interesting scene. The cops were taking Arthur away after he killed Murray on the Murray show, which we didn't talk about that scene, by the way. So
Yeah, we have. Okay, let's talk
please
about.
please hold. We'll get to that in a minute. But he's in the cop car. The police are like shit talking him because he's laughing at the carnage, and then they fucking ram the police car and they save Arthur. It was beautiful. The clowns rose to save their prophet.
And you kind of understand the clowns.
To an extent.
You understand, why, you see how bad Arthur's life is, and you see why people might like him.
Yeah, Arthur is sympathetic to an extent. Like, because again, I truly think he was a good-natured person at the beginning of the movie, and I don't think I don't think that ever completely goes away entirely. It's just like he goes insane. He snaps. Like he's had a mental illness this whole time. He's been mentally unstable, and suddenly his whole world comes crashing down. And he finds out all this crazy shit about his life that makes it even worse. He realizes that his girlfriend isn't real and he's just been hallucinating her because he's off his meds because he can't get his meds because they cut the funding for his therapy. It's pretty intense. So it just broke him. Like he was a good natured boy who just went through too much and it just snapped. And he's kind of sympathetic in that way. Like
Yeah,
if only we could turn back time and not have some of those things happen, then maybe Arthur Fleck would be a little bit better off. But now
yeah.
he did a kills.
You know what I want to say something about the Murray scene really quick.
Sure.
What do you get when you cross somebody who loves movies with a podcast host who always cancels?
This feels very pointed.
You get what you fucking deserve.
You didn't hear it, but I killed Riley, so you're not going to hear him for the rest of the episode. It's just me now.
Hey guys, it's me, Jason, here to fill in for Riley. This is how I talk. Don't question my voice at all. This is how I've always talked. Me, Jason, Jellyu.
Um, yeah, all right, this works. But as for the Murray scene, I thought that was like everybody like that's the one part everybody knows about this movie, and it spoiled it for me. But
The first time I saw this scene, it was voiced over by impressions of Goofy and Winnie the Pooh.
really?
Yeah, that was a video that went around on YouTube. It was pretty viral. It was some guy who does like cartoon impressions that are really good. He dubbed over Joker with a Goofy voice and Murray with a Winnie the Pooh voice, and just did this scene.
That's cool. But I guess that scene kind of speaks for itself. But basically, uh, he says that's when the Joker gets first introduced as the Joker, and he says, You didn't come on this show because you liked me. You wanted me to come on this show so you can make fun of me.
You see, I understand where Murray's coming from, though. Like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel. I'm trying to think of whether Murray was completely morally in the black, like they might want to make him out to be, or whether he seemed like he might be a little bit of a good-natured guy. Like he makes fun of Arthur, obviously, and that offends Arthur, but like this is the kind of comedy that I would do, is what Murray's doing. And I think he was pretty nice to Arthur up
I don't.
until he found out that he killed 3 people.
I don't.
I think he was pretty respectful to him in the dressing room. I don't think he was ever
Like, he was respectful to him because he wanted him to come on and he wanted to make fun of him on his show.
fair, but like sometimes you can make fun of people. You know, I don't think it's necessarily bad natured 100% to make fun of people. Like, I don't think necessarily the setup of the conceit of this, if Arthur was not mentally insane and insensitive, could have worked as like a good natured thing. Like, he comes on the show, they rib him a little bit about his comedy act, and he's like, yeah, you know, I'm working on it. And they just have like a conversation about it. He makes a couple jokes and they go on with their lives, and Arthur gets a lot of exposure from that, which could be good for his comedy career in the future if he does improve. He'll just have more people that know about him because he was on the Murray show, and then
I
people will be
think
like, "Oh yeah, he has gotten a lot better," and
I
he'll
think
gain an audience from that.
he would have just made fun of him. He wouldn't be able to get a job anywhere because when you look up his name, you see him on the Murray show and he gets ripped to shreds by Murray.
Would that ruin your job prospects in real life? I don't think it would. Maybe as a comedian, but you don't really get jobs as a comedian unless you're like in like a sitcom. And if you're in like a sitcom, you probably auditioned and like proved you were a good actor. So I don't think this Murray show thing would necessarily disqualify you. And in terms of normal jobs, I don't think being on a talk show and being made fun of is grounds for not receiving employment.
All right. Yeah, I guess you're right. But do you have anything else you want to say about this?
Hmm, I'm trying to think of anything else we've missed because I feel like there is a lot of good stuff in this movie.
Well,
I guess
sorry.
we never really talked about like the scene at Wayne's Manor, except for a little bit. I made a joke about it. Uh, where we do see the obvious Batman reference. We got little boy Bruce Wayne, and Arthur is going there to find his father, and he just like he does fun little magic tricks with Bruce, and it's nice and sweet.
Put his fingers in his mouth. What
Yeah,
the fuck are you
you
talking
see
about?
at the I was about to get there, but then it gets weird because he puts his fingers in his mouth. But even that's just like he's crazy, but his heart's in the right place. Like he's like,
No.
yeah,
No,
smile.
no, 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 no. No.
Yeah. He's mentally ill. He didn't really think it through. He's just like, I want him to smile, so I'm gonna do this. Like, hey, come on, kid, give me a
I,
smile.
God.
It's gross, but you have to think he's mentally ill. Like it's not you wouldn't put your fingers in a kid's mouth for any reason because you're not mentally ill like Arthur Fleck is. In his head, he's not really thinking it through. It's just like, yeah, I'm having fun. We're having fun with this kid. I want him to smile, so I'm gonna give him a little smile. And then he chokes Alfred in front of him, and it's a little
I
unsettling.
have nothing to add.
You have nothing to add.
No.
Okay.
Do you want to
I
get
don't know.
on to
I don't know why you're so freaked out by this concept of me saying this mentally ill man might not have had bad
let's
intentions.
move on to 3 questions.
Why are you so why are you so aversive to this? What is it? Does it really upset you that much?
I'm gonna say my favorite character in this movie was probably
You're forgetting about the what character do we want to fuck section. Come on. It's a very
oh yeah.
important wrap-up question.
Um Probably like the short guy.
Like the midget from the circus?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, you know what? I'm not gonna say Joker's girlfriend. You know what I am gonna say?
Don't.
Flashback young Arthur Fleck's mom.
God damn it.
Is that what you thought I was gonna say?
I knew it.
Who played her? Was
Mm,
it Margot Robbie?
I don't know.
It couldn't have been Margot Robbie, but it was definitely a pretty blonde woman, somewhat similar to Margot Robbie. That would be very confusing if Harley Quinn from the real DC movies played Joker's mom in The Joker. I will say one thing about this movie is obviously it is very disconnected from like the DC universe, but at the same time it still shocks me to my core that with how successful and well received Joker is, that Joaquin Phoenix isn't just going to be the Joker in the real Batman movies now. I'm really shocked they had the restraint to not do that.
Maybe they couldn't get him to be.
That's fair. Maybe Joaquin wasn't down, but like it just seems so weird that that was never even like brought up that he was gonna be, because like even in the Batman, I don't think it ever made it into the movie, but there is a deleted scene with a Joker that is not Joaquin Phoenix, and I was like, wow, that's a shock. And have you heard about they're doing Joker 2?
Yeah, I have, and it's a musical.
I'm so excited. I know I'm gonna love Joker 2. There's no conceivable way in hell that I'm not gonna love Joker 2.
I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it.
We got Lady Gaga playing Harley Quinn.
Oh no!
The only acting I've ever seen Lady Gaga do is I saw House of Gucci when that came out, and I guess she was fine in that movie. I don't remember anything particular one way or the other except for her very pervasive memories. Uh, but her acting skill was fine. She was doing like the Italian thing, which might just be her normal voice. She might just be of Italian descent.
What,
But
what's your favorite character? I hate Lady Gaga.
did you hate Lady Gaga? Unfortunate. My favorite character is probably Joker. Yeah, I'm trying to think of if it's
Yeah,
anybody else, but like
that's what I was gonna say too.
it's like this whole film is about his life. So like the whole conceit of me enjoying the film is enjoying watching him on screen. So yeah, I'd probably say it's Joker. It's Arthur.
All right. Favorite. You know the thing.
Favorite scene. There's a couple options for this. I'll give an honorable mention to the scene between Arthur and Thomas in the bathroom. Like there are two scenes that stick with me in this movie, and one of them was Arthur and Thomas in the bathroom. That's my honorable mention. And the actual scene I'm gonna give it to is the scene with his two former coworkers in his apartment where he kills the big guy and spares the little guy. Like that whole scene was just like well shot. It was really anxiety inducing.
I,
The,
I, that was a close second for me, but I gotta give it to the Murray scene.
That's fair. That is like the obvious answer, but it's obvious for a reason. Like it's definitely one of the most memorable things of the film, and I love it too. I'd probably, if you asked me my third favorite scene, it'd be that. But I just think those two scenes in particular were just shot in a very like anxious way, and it stuck with me, that feeling.
I get you. I get you on that. Now, rating out of 10.
This is tricky. This part is always tricky because I'll give a rate. I'll like think of a rating, and then later I'll like look at a rating I gave something else, and I'll be like, did I like this better than that? And I'll start like second guessing myself. Rating things is so hard. I hate rating things. But with that being said, I know I am contractually obligated to rate the Joker. So I'm obviously into like bigger movies. Like I'm into like comedies and action movies. I'm your generic moviegoer of consumer. You know what I'm about. And this movie didn't scratch those itches as much as something else in a DC universe might. But it was a very very solid film. The character work was great. The scenes were well shot. Very good. It just doesn't go up to like a 9 or a 10 for me because those are obviously like the big action and comedy movies because that's just what I'm about. But I'm comfortable giving this movie a very solid 8 out of 10.
I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. Hello?
What do you mean hello? You said something and then
I'm gonna give it.
1 second passed.
I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. I think it was pretty good. Wasn't anything particularly amazing, but I liked it. Now let's get to the fun part where I get to torture Riley.
Real quick, I want to say, I do say, this is a pretty good Joker movie. Joker 2019 is pretty good. I actually prefer Joker 1989, I think.
Never watched that movie.
It's not a real movie. It's the Tim Burton's Batman movie from 1989 is just a Joker movie. Like Michael Keaton's Batman is overrated. He was not at all the spotlight character in that movie. Jack Nicholson as Joker fucking dominated that entire screenplay. He was so amazing.
Right.
Batman 1989 is Joker 1989.
All right, now I'm gonna torture you.
Oh
I'm
god.
gonna let you. I'm gonna let you pick your poison here.
Okay. I was actually real quick before you give me your poison.
Let me talk.
No, Kathy, hold on. Before you present me with your
Go
poison.
to the bathroom.
Well, Kathy, fuck you. We're not even an hour yet. Hold your fucking phones. Excuse me. May I make a suggestion before you provide me these poisons? Because I was thinking, I knew your turn was coming up, and I think there's something you've been waiting for that it might be time for if you're willing to give up on whatever torture you're about to provide me.
What is it?
Xavier season 2?
No.
Damn it. Okay.
You
Well,
you don't get to watch that after canceling on me twice. You get to either watch The Killers, a movie starring Ronald Reagan, or I'm not going to tell you anything about this movie, a movie titled Ida 2013.
okay, as much as Ida 2013 is a meme, can we compromise? Because your whole bit with that first movie is to get me to watch a movie with Ronald Reagan as an actor. Can we watch Bedtime for Bonzo instead?
No.
Damn it. I really want to watch Bedtime for Bonzo starring Ronald Reagan.
Too bad.
Okay, we'll watch Ida 2013 then.
All right, so we're watching The Killers next time.
What the fuck?
I was gonna pick whatever one you didn't pick just to piss you off even more.
This is bullshit. What the fuck, man? Well, I guess join us next time for The Killers starring Ronald Reagan. God damn it. What is special about this movie besides it has Ronald Reagan in it?
You'll see.
So sell me on why we can't do Bedtime with Bonzo instead.
Because fuck you, that's why.
Alright, fine, whatever. Well, folks, thank you for listening to our review of Joker 2019. Join us next week, hand to God. Well, before I say hand to God, where can I find this film?
Pirate it. No, wait, don't pirate it. I mean, purchase it legally.
Yeah, purchase it legally, but then, is it on... I guess I can just look. The Killers movie...
1964.
1964 or 1946?
1964.
The Killers movie, 1964. The Killers, 1964, directed by Don Siegel. Okay. Where? I guess IMDb might tell me. I'll click on the IB. If there is a like real service where you can consume this product. Nope, the only option is to search for a DVD on Amazon. Is it on my favorite place on the internet? Let's see. The Killers. It is. Okay, it's on a website that I know how to use. We're cool.
Alright, send me the website then.
Okay, I'll send you the link after I end this podcast and then pee and then come back to my computer.
Hypothetically, I would never
hypothetically, I'll send you this link. Well, it's a website. All I said is it's a website I know how to use. That could mean anything. It could be I'm sending Kathy the link to Voodoo so that she can rent it.
I would never pirate a movie. FBI.
Yeah, no. You wouldn't download a car, would you?
Well, all right.
Anyway, I gotta pee right now. We've said all we need to say. Thank you for listening.
I also have to pee.
See you guys next week.
In your mom's mouth. Let's go.